Hi, I'm Seamless, and today actually is Wednesday, which means it's time for some sound design request tutorials. Multiple. Um, this is the sound that we're going to do today. This is a attempt at a KOAN sound type sound. Yeah, so before I get into this, I'm going to say a bunch of stuff. First and foremost, this was actually done by Audeka. If you've never heard of them, there'll be links in the description to what they do and what they've done. They've done very good stuff. And the reason why I had them help me out here, I asked them for help, this is because this type of sound, the stuff that KOAN sound does, and also the very sort of more traditional sounding neuro stuff, I've never been very good at. That's because it exists in the world that pretty much doesn't. It's not from harmonic resampling, at least the way that I do it. It's not from that. And it's all about filters and phasers and distortion pitch stacking without having to resample these days. And then in olden times, it was about resampling without any of that stuff. And I was never very good at that. In fact, before Harmor existed, I couldn't do any of this crap. So this was not something that I was likely going to be able to accomplish very well. So because I have I approached Audeka to be on the stream this week on Saturday, which they will be. I also asked them if they would want to help me out for this week's sound design request tutorials, and they happily did. And they also made an FL only version, which is cool because this means I can give out the FLP and it'll work for everyone. Okay, now before we get into even what was happening here, I also am saying this is the beginning of a new sort of structure for sound tutorials, like tutorials that are about a sound, like the how to base tutorials and the sound design request tutorials, those kinds of things. This is the only time you're going to hear me talk about this, so just pay attention. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to segment them into two parts each. And what that means is that the first part is going to be purely instructional. Like, this goes into this goes into this happens, this is good, this is done, and this is the sound, this is how you do it, end of story. That's going to be what's up. And the reason for this is because the second part is going to be all about the how and the why, like why certain sounds make this sound, why these decisions were good decisions, and how to extrapolate this into solving for n for any sound you want to make ever. And this is because a lot of people that watch these tutorials already know that stuff, and they don't necessarily want to be flogged through the basics over and over again as each tutorial progresses, because it's usually the same. It's based on the same stuff. So this is part one, where I'm just going to talk about what you do to make the sound. Now, this is based in 3x OSC. It's two saw waves. Already breaking the UI. How broken is it? Not very broken. Okay. There's a bug in Edison that is actually already fixed for the next installer, the FL 11.04. But while it exists now, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, 3x OSC. So two saws, detuned as such. You can see here in the fine levels. The third oscillator is off. Just whatever. Now, the pitch is modified. It's being automated in the playlist. And you see I just turned up to 24 because that's what they had set to when they had made the automation. However, it doesn't actually matter what I set it to. The knob and the values will still go up and down regardless. This is just like the knob windowing that we're able to look at. There goes me explaining things, and I want to explain things. So what's happening here is that in the first effect, there's a bandpass filter shape happening. It's being automated close to with pitch automation. Like, it's more or less moving when it moves, but not in the same way. And that creates interesting sort of movement. Then it's distorted, and then it's like EQ to taste. This is just making because they wanted it to sound good. That's what that is. Then it's recorded in Edison, and then it goes to a harmor. That's what this part is. Now this was actually kind of cool because this is something I hadn't considered. What they're doing here is that they're using harmor purely for the phaser. Not a single thing is happening to this harmor except the phaser that's going on here. Actually, they may have. Nope, they didn't do anything else. So the phaser is set to whatever mix, and it's octave, no speed, no keyboard tracking, offset at 0. And then as we play it, you can kind of see what it does. Yeah. So the phaser width is being manipulated here. The mix stays the same. And then there's also a high band, which is being taken care of with this mod EQ thing. It's basically just to keep it in line as the sound morphs. There's also this notch LFO stuff going on. And what this is two peak controllers set to only just LFO moving around. And then the frequency position of these notch shapes in this EQ are moving around according to the LFOs. Not much going on there, but besides that. And then it's recorded, and then it's exported, and then it's put into the playlist. And there was something I needed to turn off. No, I already did it. Never mind. It was this limiter that they had kept in there, but that's not a thing. See, what's funny about multiple producers doing different things is that we hear things differently and on different systems, which means certain things are just not going to sound similar. But this is pretty great. So we have additional pitch modulation, which you can see causing the change in shape and of the size rather of the sample, and then an additional filter, and then some band EQ settings. And one of these EQs, it's probably this one. Nope. This one? I wonder what's maybe it's in here. Yep, it's that one. See, this is routing into this channel and giving us more effects because they're using all the effects here. So we have an additional love filter with some settings. It's bandpass. We have a wave shaper for light distortion, saturation kind of thing. Additional EQ. And then a frequency split and patcher using Maximus as the splitter, which is pretty straightforward because, it has low, medium, high. So we just set low, medium, high for individual ones. And then the stereo separation and panning. Panning presumably to fix whatever unbalance there is here. And then it's compressed again, vaguely. It's used to stereo separate, stereo close, basically the lows, so that the lows are center, and everything else can do whatever they want. And then there's a flanger, there's an EQ, going to another one, another EQ, and another EQ, kind of thing. That's a lot of EQs, but that's okay. That's totally fine. So that's pretty much the end of this tutorial. The FLP for this will be in the description, along with links to Audeka. Check them out. They're pretty brutal. So move along to part 2 if you'd like to hear about the sort of theory and how and why and other additional cool things about this sound. If you have any questions about this, let me know. And as usual, have a nice day.